Think about your favorite comfort food or your coziest blanket or a warm cup of hot chocolate before bed. Those things make you feel better because they are familiar, right? Well, that is how routines are with grief. They bring a little slice of predictability back to a place where your world has been completely turned upside down. Just knowing what time you're going to wake up in the morning, what you're going to eat for breakfast, that you're going to walk with a friend after work, little things like that can make such a huge difference on your grief journey. Today we're going to talk about how routines can help you when you're grieving and how to start them. Stay tuned. Recently, an email subscriber of mine asked if I would do a video about routines, and I thought that was such a fantastic idea because when you are grieving, it can seem almost impossible to restart routines that we had or even to create new routines, but they can be so incredibly helpful on your grief journey. So let's talk about why routines are so helpful and then how you can go ahead and start them or continue ones that you've already started. The first way routines can help is by giving your brain a break. I've said it a million times before, grieving is mentally exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Sometimes you just need to give your brain a chance to catch its breath. So sticking to a routine can help with that. It's like saying, okay, hey brain, we don't have to focus on everything all at once right now. All we have to do is get through our morning routine. So giving your brain a little bit of a buffer, taking off some of the pressure to think about everything all at once, instead just focusing on one little part of your routine at a time can be a huge break for your brain. The next way that routines can help is that they can actually boost your mood. Look, I know the last thing that a lot of people in grief want to focus on is your health and diet and exercise, but it really is important. And setting up little steps through a routine to help with those things can actually make a huge difference in your mood. Look, I'm not telling you to go whole hog crazy into a workout routine or, eat all of your fruits and vegetables that you're supposed to get each day because I'm in grief. I understand how difficult that can be. But there is no denying the link between your physical health and your emotional health. So any sort of routine that you can create, even if it's just minor activity throughout the week and making sure you at least get some nutrition, is going to make a large difference. Having a routine can also help you stay connected. Now, I always say I'm an introvert, so talking about staying connected and, being social is sort of out of my wheelhouse, but I actually do make a concerted effort to stay connected with people as part of my routine.
I hate talking to people about things.
Let's be real, grief is definitely isolating, but the more that you get out there, even if it's just for a little bit, and have human conversations with other people, it opens you up to that connection. It opens you up to other perspectives. It opens you up to receiving comfort from people that you might not have expected. So just carving out a little bit of social time each week in your calendar and having that in your routine makes a huge difference. Next is one of my favorite things about routines, and I believe that routines help teach you that you are tougher than you think you are. Every time that you set up a routine and you follow it, even if it's the easiest routine ever, something really simple, you are actually building your resilience muscles. You are convincing yourself that you are strong enough to get through something that you planned, and that helps you get through the rest of your day. It just sort of gives you that boost of encouragement that you are a badass and you are a survivor and you can do this. And lastly, the beauty of routines is that they are completely personal. This is your routine that you are creating, so you do you. You can make it anything you want it to be. Some people are going to want to go out on a jog every morning and that makes them feel better. That is not me. I would not do that. So if you can, awesome, yay for you, make that part of your routine. But if the thought of going for a jog is completely overwhelming to you, then don't do that. Think of something more simple to do that's more suited for you. It doesn't have to be all out crazy. It just has to be tailored to what you will enjoy, what you will stick with, and what can help you move forward. So as far as how to create a routine, like we just said, it's completely personal. I can kind of go through things that I do to give you some suggestions. I actually have on my website this printable that you can use. So I don't know if you can see that. So it is a grief routine broken down by morning, afternoon, and evening. And then also the second page is for weekly things that you can do. I will leave a link to this down in the description of the video, so feel free to click on that. It's on my website, Grieving Mommy. You can obviously do this without this printable, and I do have ones on there that are also blank. So if you don't like the things that are already filled in, which are more kind of customized to what I do, then you can fill in your own things as well. So again, the link is down there if you would like it. Otherwise, grab a sheet of paper and let's see what we can come up with. All right.
Let's do this shit.
So my preference is to have things that I do morning, afternoon, and evening. And then, like I said, to have some weekly things that I like to accomplish that don't necessarily have a certain day that I do them, but I just sort of check them off and try to do them at least weekly. So for example, morning routines that you can have. My morning routine, I always get up and make my bed. Another key thing, I cannot stress enough, getting on a normal sleep schedule where you are going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. Sleep is a cornerstone of health, and making sure that you're having that solid sleep routine. Even if you're in deep grief, I know how difficult it is to get a good night's sleep. I know you might be having nightmares, waking up in the middle of the night. You might struggle falling asleep. Try to have that set sleep schedule if at all possible. So anyway, I wake up at the same time every day, which now that I'm back to teaching is ridiculously early, way too early in the morning. I always make my bed in the morning, so that's one of my things. I make sure to hydrate, so I always drink some water in the morning. I usually do like a 5 to 10 minute stretch. If I'm feeling kind of saucy in the morning and I have a lot of energy, sometimes I will do a 15-minute light exercise video. I'll also leave a link below. I love, for all of the exercise stuff that I do on here, there is a YouTube channel called Improved Health, and I absolutely adore it. It is geared more towards like beginner and seniors and slightly intermediate, but I find that it's been doing a great job of keeping my weight in check and making me feel like I'm accomplishing something. I feel a lot stronger doing some of the strength training videos that are on there. So I cannot recommend them enough. Again, I'll leave that link down below for you. Back to my morning routine. So I try to do the 5 to 10 minute stretch or the mini exercise routine before I get going in the morning. And I have eat breakfast. I usually always have my protein coffee in the morning, and that's kind of my breakfast, and then I head to work. Your afternoon is going to be different depending on what you're doing in the afternoons. When I was at home over the summer, I had a whole schedule that I set up for myself where I, went outside and took a walk, or I went downtown in the town that I live in and walked around the town. I went to different coffee shops where I was working on my blog and YouTube and that kind of stuff, just to kind of get me out of the house a little bit. Now that I'm back at work, my schedule is completely inflexible pretty much. So throughout the day, usually in the afternoon, lunchtime, I try to take a quick walk around the building if I can. I can't really get outdoors. I make sure I eat a pretty healthy lunch. I meal plan in the week, so I have some videos. I'll link that here if I can, to show you kind of how I meal prep throughout the week. So I'll eat my meal prep lunch. I try to do like 5 minutes of like a deep breathing, especially if I'm struggling throughout the day, or sometimes if I have a class where I get like triggered by something. I will just take a few minutes to do some deep cleansing breaths, and usually that can help calm me down a little bit. And I try to talk to at least one person. It doesn't have to be like a big, deep conversation, but I try to at least interact with one person socially, just like a, hey, how was your night? How was your weekend? That kind of thing. Just to have that human connection with people. And then in the evening, I usually have dinner. I try to go for a quick walk outdoors. I actually have an e-bike that I bought, so sometimes I ride my e-bike. And then my night routine, I always kind of do the same thing where, you know, I take off my makeup and wash my face, and I have a skincare routine that I do. And then before I go to bed, I always listen to ASMR. This might be a good tip for you. I found my thoughts race at night. It was always my worst time for my grief. Still is my worst time for my grief, other than being in the car. But listening to ASMR, I put my headphones in, and a lot of times I just fall asleep now to ASMR. I like the ones where people are talking constantly, because then I'm listening to them talk and it kind of quiets the chatter in my brain and relaxes me a little bit. And that's usually how I fall asleep. So that's become part of my evening routine that I do before I go to bed. And then I make sure to go to sleep at a consistent time each night. So that's morning, afternoon, and evening. And then I also have kind of my weekly things that I do. So I try to get a good 30 minutes of physical activity at least 3 times a week. And you can see here I have like, can you see? I have my checklist here, so I just sort of check off which days that I end up doing them. I also have in here, like I visit with someone at least once a week in a social way. My friend Bianca and I, we have a standing date where we go for a walk at least once a week with each other, and I love that because I can vent, and she doesn't care if I talk about Libby. So, and you know, we just talk about our weeks and what we're doing and whatever. And it's just great having that connection with somebody, and also the physical activity. So I kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. For me, I usually read a book each week. So I go to the library, get a book, and then try to read that throughout the week. I don't always get through it, especially now that I'm teaching again, but I try to do that. Other than that, yeah, meal preps. I always meal prep on Sunday. So a lot of times I grocery shop and go to like farmers markets in my area on Saturday, and then I do the meal prep on Sunday. So again, these are, you know, there's a million different things that you can do, and I have a bunch of ideas of different routines on my website that I left the link for, but you make it what you want, make it what you enjoy and what you think is going to help you, even if it doesn't seem like it's something that should be in a routine. Like taking a long shower. Like if you love long warm showers or baths or whatever, make that part of your routine. A routine doesn't have to be something difficult. It just has to be something that you do. And it helps you because your brain knows what to do. Your brain enjoys it. Your brain gets that, you know, boost, and your body gets that endorphin boost from having accomplished something. And again, it just gives you that slight sense of normalcy when your life is anything but normal. So I hope you found that helpful. Again, please feel free to visit my website. I have a ton of ideas on there. I think I have another download that is a ton of self-care ideas, which would be, you know, great to include in your routine. And really, I'm going to say it again, try to get at least a little bit of nutrition in there and move your body a little bit every day. And try to get outdoors if you can. Those are really kind of the biggest keys. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, just a little bit. Okay. You can do it. I know you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Absolutely. I am nothing special, and I am doing the same stuff you guys are doing. So again, I am sending love and hugs as always. I will see you guys next week. If there are any other ideas that you have for videos, this was a great one that someone had. So I'm open to making videos about anything you would like, and I will see you guys later.